Civil 3D 2021 is an extremely powerful tool that we can use to do all kinds of really neat things. But to do those things, we need three key features: an alignment, a surface, and a profile to unlock what the program can do for us. That's what we're going to be covering today. And if you're new here, thanks for checking out my channel. My name is Kyle Vines. I am a Civil 3D designer with more than 7 years of drafting and design experience. I do work at a large engineering firm, and everything that I cover in these videos is either going to come directly from you, comment below if you have something you want me to cover, or from engineers, project managers, or other designers and drafters reaching out with questions throughout a regular workday. Now that we know what we're going to cover, we can go ahead and dive into the program. And this is where we're going to start. We have a blank project. It is in a template, so we have all of our line types and styles built in. You can see we have tool space open over here. This is where we're going to be able to see our surface, our alignment, and our profiles and the accompanying settings and information in regards to each of those features. Let's go ahead and keep this really simple, so I'm not going to build a surface from scratch. This is going to be as if the survey company had provided a LandXML that we can then just bring into a model. So the first thing we're going to do to make sure that the surface falls in the right location is assign our coordinate system. I use the command map CAssign to get here. You will notice that there are going to be a ton of different ways to do all of these things. Let me know in the comments if you think it's the wrong way or if you have a better way. This is just my workflow. So I know this is CO83 central foot for this example. And we have this map assigned now, and you can tell by this geolocation popping up here in the ribbon. You have our map options, and we can capture areas, mark position, and we'll cover all those things in a later video. So first we are going to insert a LandXML. In the LandXML I have, let's see, examples, XML. Go ahead and open that guy. Just gonna bring the surface and information in. All right, so now we have an existing grade. All right, and we can just go ahead and zoom to that grade. You can see that nothing is visible. That's because my default setting is to no display. But if you need to see contours, you can change that. So you can see existing, no display. I can go ahead and hit existing, apply OK, and we have our major and minor contours now. You can kind of see we've got a couple of roads in here, and we do have a river going in this direction. All right, so now that we have a surface in here and it is visible, let's go ahead and go to properties, make sure I'm on a depth points layer, good deal. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a polyline. Let's say it is going from here up to here and across to there. So this is how I'm going to build my alignment now that we have a surface. So because this surface is a little bit distracting, I'm going to go ahead and put it back on a no display style and just mess with the alignment. Let's get to the second key component of your base model, which is going to be your alignment. So up here you have alignments, create alignment from polyline, and that is what we're going to do. Select your line and just hit enter. We actually want it going south to northeast. So let's go ahead and hit R, enter to reverse it. Let's call it alignment. We are not going to set up a site right now. It is sample alignment style. That is perfect. Alignment layer, PR alignment. That works for me. We are going to go ahead and remove curves because that would fill it between these two curves at your radius. Default is 200 feet. And I don't like to erase the existing entity either, because if that line work changes, which it usually does, I want to be able to manipulate that polyline that was underneath the alignment prior to adjusting the alignment. Just to go back and forth with engineering to make sure that any changes that are going to occur are set in stone relatively before changing things like the alignment. All right, let's hit OK. All right. We have an alignment. This is a default alignment style that I have, showing a proposed natural gas line. You can see we've got a 1,278 foot alignment laid out here. And that is it. So now we have a surface and we have an alignment. Centerline alignment, alignment. There we go. So the last thing that we are going to do is build a profile. So for the profile, you actually need that surface and the alignment set up prior to building the profile, which is why we have gone in this order. So we are going to go ahead and turn the aerial map back on. Kind of get out in this direction. That works for me. Let's go ahead and surface properties, change that to existing, apply, OK. Just make sure that whenever we build a profile, we don't want it overlapping with any of the survey work that's going to come in or our surface. We just kind of want to build it out in space so that it's not going to interfere with any other features of the base model that we build here. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Again, we can go to the properties, change the style to existing no display, and we're good to go there. All right, home, we have profiles. This is not where we are going to create the profile from. We're actually going to do this. So profile, create profile from surface. We've already built our surface, so it can read our selected surface. If we had multiple, we could add them in, but we're just going to add the one. If we had multiple alignments, we could select which alignment we want to build a profile for, and then tie together the selected surface for that alignment. We can see that our stationing is set up here, and we're going to go ahead and hit Draw in Profile View. Once we have Draw in Profile View, we have several styles that we're going to run through here. Our stationing, our surface, we have our bands, and then just create profile view. Remember, we want to drop it somewhere over here. All right, and now we have a profile. So let's go ahead and do 2 viewports vertically so that we can look at a couple of things here. We've got our alignment starting at 0 stationing. That's what this is here. Our alignment is then reading the surface existing grade information to generate our profile. So our alignment runs from left to right along here, and our profile then reads the elevation along the alignment and displays it over here. So those are the 3 main components that are going to be the foundation of any of your base models. So let's go ahead and kind of clean this up a little bit. Our stationing, let's go ahead and make that a nice round number there. Apply. Our elevation looks good right now. If we had any board details or anything like that, we could change the specific height. And then we can actually get into another sample that is a little bit further along. Let's just hit apply and OK to see some of those cool things that you can do once you have an alignment and a profile. So let's get into this example drawing over here. The alignment and profile are in a slightly different area, and I do have some surveyed line work in here. So we've got floodplains, rivers, culverts, a couple other utilities, some roadways, gas lines, things like that. So what we can then do is things like pipe networks, which I use just for the smart labeling capabilities. So pipe networks for this water line, storm line, calm line, but you'll also notice I have one here for an elbow. That elbow is then going to be read over here in my stationing band, which will be brought through a viewport, and I can manipulate, the degree, cut, and roll here. You'll also see I have my edges of pavement and my utilities that we're crossing. Those are also shown in the profile, any of the relevant items, which will be your utility crossings. And this is the pipe network component that is projected from plan view into the profile. So this keeps you from having to manually enter any of this data or manually drawing these in. So let me show you what we would have done in the past. So we've got a gas line here, and I'll show you how to make one of these labels real quick. Add label, alignment, I like to do fixed, select your alignment, drop it right there. Let's pull this off to the side, and let's change that to a 0 design line work style so that it doesn't show up when we print. All right, so we've got station 1 plus 26.95. So typically what we would have done, and I may have already done it here, yep. So yeah, let's go ahead and move this out of the way. We would offset this 26.95 in that direction. And then this is, I'm assuming, it's going to be 4 feet because that is our assumed depth before we get potholes. And we're going to move this 4 feet below grade at that stationing number. And that is our pipe size, typical before we get information from the surveying company again. So that's how we would have typically done it before, but as you can see, there are no smart labels attached to this. I'll show you what a smart label does. So for this guy here, just add label, and that read the information tied to the pipe network. And then we can just go ahead and drop that there. And you can. So while I'm waiting for this to publish and start another screen capture, if there's anything that you see here that you would do differently or have a better idea or workflow that works a little bit better for you, or that you think anybody else would find value in, please comment down below. Also, if you like what you're seeing so far, please like and subscribe. And to keep this content ad-free, please become a Patreon. Please become a patron at patreon.com/Kyle Vines. But if you really like the content, also hit the notification so that you don't miss a video that's going to be coming out every Tuesday. We're about 61% done here, so I'll go ahead and pause. Snap again. All right, so we're back in action, and you can see that the pipe network component covering this comm line has generated the label. I've built these styles, and I will go into details about how to build label styles that work for your needs. And this pipe network component is sending data to this label as well as this stationing band label, so that you can have one component that if the alignment changes, it updates automatically and you don't have to manually enter that data for either the profile or stationing band. And I will kind of demonstrate that now. So I'll take this this alignment and keep an eye over here. If I take this alignment and I stretch it down here, you'll see that the pipe network components and all of the labels in the stationing and profile band did move. What did not move is this dummy gas line here, because it's not a smart feature. For this particular example, I could use the leaders that are built into the labels, but I like to know when things change, and I also like the way that these look. If bring that down to the midpoint here, if the lines run directly into the underline of the label, which you can't exactly do, or I haven't found a way to show it that way with the styles that are available. But if you know, please leave a comment below. But that's basically it. So let's go back here. Go back to the three things that we covered. Our three key ingredients for a Civil 3D base model are going to be your surface, boom, your alignment, boom, and your profile, boom. Once you have those three things, you can do a ton in the program. Well, that's going to be it for today. Hope you liked what you saw here. Come back to my channel next Tuesday, where I will post another video covering a Civil 3D topic and tutorial. And I appreciate your time. Come back and I will see you next week.